Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Coach Lilia, and today I'm talking to you all about should I stay or should I leave my narcissistic wife before the holidays? Okay, I know that the holiday season is a very, very difficult time because this is the question that many of you guys are facing. Should I just cope through this time? Should I stay for my kids? Should I stay for the family? Or should I just pull the plug on it and walk into the new year with this liberation? Okay, so we're gonna go into the coping mechanisms in this video as well because I know that most of you are gonna decide to stay, and that is okay because you have to be in that mental state of mind. Okay, you have to feel prepared, but also understand you're never going to be fully prepared because there is never going to be the right time. It's always going to be the holiday, someone's birthday, some vacation that you guys have planned, and so on and so on. Okay, and of course, before I continue, if my content is helpful to you all, subscribe to my channel and schedule your one-on-one session with me if you need help navigating through this. Okay, so the link is in my bio. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So what are some of the pros and cons here, staying or leaving? Let's talk about it. So understand that this holiday season is not going to be that joyful time that most families have together, right? Because narcissists amplify the control, the manipulation. They have the need to create this perfect appearance of the perfect family. Everything is perfectly decorated and we're super happy all together. We don't have any issues, right? They put on this complete show and you just have to play along. It can feel very disturbing and disgusting because you see how they act around other people in the family. It's like nobody understands that there's any issues happening, right? But everybody feels the pressure, the control, because it's just in the air. And understand that if you do decide to pull a plug on this marriage, right, you get to avoid all of that. You get to avoid walking on eggshells, feel manipulated, feel controlled. Imagine walking into a new chapter and liberating yourself before the new year hits. How amazing that would feel. I really want you to feel into that. So that would be a big pro, right? Avoiding the manipulation and finally walking into a new life just like that. And again, remember, there is never going to be the perfect timing for it, period. And of course, it's going to feel difficult. If it felt easy, everybody would be doing it, right? Everybody would simply decide and leave and not go back because understand, you're going to be walking into something very unknown. So we're talking about all those traditions stripped away. Maybe you won't get to see your kids as much as you would like to. And again, you would have a lot of backlash from everybody that's going to be manipulated by her and is going to hear her side of the story where you're this villain that walked out on the family right before the holidays. So of course it's going to be emotionally draining, emotionally taxing. And again, there's never going to be the right time, but you do have to be somewhat prepared mentally. And I know that most of you will decide to stay and just get through the season and then finally decide to get out once it's over. So let's go ahead and talk about the coping mechanisms, okay, to survive this dynamic while you're in it, in this manipulation, walking on eggshells with her trying to micromanage everything. And of course, you can never do enough. And of course, there's going to be these perfectly orchestrated pictures for the holidays, right? The family picture that you send out, the perfect presents, the perfect tree, the perfect everything, where in reality, all of you, including your kids, just need a freaking hug from the mom, but you're never going to get it because there's no unconditional love there whatsoever, period. So coping mechanisms, how not to lose your mind as you're going through this. Number one, you have to set boundaries and you have to be very clear with your boundaries and you have to make sure that you don't bend them for her during this holiday season because understand she's going through so much anxiety with this need for control that she's going to try to unload all of this negative discharge onto you. Okay, so set your boundaries, be very clear, let her know I am not putting up with this, and distance yourself as much as you can. Be very clear with what you're not going to tolerate. And even if it's met with a lot of resistance, if she tries to attack you more, just walk away. That's all you can do. Don't fall into the trap of reacting. Limit your engagement with her as much as possible. Like, as much as possible, do not communicate unless it's absolutely necessary. And I know how crazy it sounds when you're under the same roof with your wife and you have to limit communication, but always remind yourself you're living with that mental case here, okay? She is living off of that negative discharge of the reactions that she's getting out of you. You are her emotional punching bag. And right now, during the holiday season, this is the time when they thrive in this stress, in this crazy need for control, trying to micromanage everything. And of course, everything is going to be poured on you. You are the problem. You are the reason why everything is falling apart and nothing can be perfect. And those poor children that are going to have to stand aside and watch this dynamic. Next one here, I want to say have no expectations, but we know that's not possible. possible because there's always hope in there. Maybe this year it's going to be a little different. So lower your expectations as much as possible and always try to recognize that you're dealing with a toddler. So understand that if there's barely any expectations, it's not going to hurt as much when she lets you down over and over and triggers you. Next one, number 4, understand that this is the time that she's going to be thriving on creating more and more drama for that, again, emotional discharge, negative discharge. She's going to try to trigger you so as much as possible, also to ruin the holidays for you, because narcissists love to ruin those times that are supposed to be happy: birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. So understand that having no expectations for anything good and then having a very big expectation that it is going to get very dramatic and horrible and stressful, once you're prepared for that and once you process that it's inevitable because I'm living with a mental case, it becomes much, much easier. Next one here, I think the best coping mechanisms is simply recognizing that this is the last holiday together, and after this, I am pulling the plug on this. So why not just relax into it and enjoy the ride? Always bring yourself back that I'm living with a child inside of a grown-up's body. I have no expectations because I wouldn't have expectations with a child. I wouldn't try to explain or communicate or find understanding or get them to accept responsibility for being hurtful. No, I would simply walk away. I would simply say, hey, this is my boundary, respect it or don't, but I'm leaving. And that's how you have to treat this person, okay? So when you are in that mindset that this is the last time together and after this you're on your own, this is going to feel so freeing and liberating, even though you're gonna still have to be under the same roof for this short time being. Next one here, okay? Try to create as much time as possible for your personal self-care, and of course surround yourself with supportive friends and family, and maybe already the ones that you really trust, let them know what your plans are for after the holiday, because I think it's going to feel really liberating to already, not even liberating, but it's going to feel more real if you talk to other people about your plan to leave. Maybe your parents, maybe your siblings, people that are truly on your side and they're not going to spread this word around, okay? And of course, connect with your children, because holidays are the time, to be with the family, to feel this joy. And unfortunately, if you're dealing with this kind of woman, it's very difficult to find joy in anything. But again, try to extract the good, because always remind yourself that you can only control so much, right? And you don't have to stress about things that you can't control, because what is the point? Because again, that suffering, it's a state of mind. When you let go of attachments, when you let go of expectations, everything becomes much, much easier. So sit back, remind yourself that this is the last time together, and after the new year begins, I am out of here. And also, not to forget, I highly recommend that you set a deadline by which you're planning to leave, okay? So I don't know whether it's going to be the 2nd of January or 1 week after or the day after Christmas. Set a deadline for yourself and respect that deadline, because like I said earlier, there is never a right time. There's never a perfect time. There's always going to be something. And last thing you want is to look back at your life and regret 5 years from today, thinking to yourself, why didn't I leave sooner when I knew back then? Because understand, time is something non-refundable. Nobody's giving you your time back. Nobody's going to thank you at the end of the day for not putting yourself first and for sacrificing yourself for this. Okay? You're not a human sacrifice. You're not here to be anyone's punching bag. And your friends, your family, your children, everyone's gonna be okay. It's gonna be a difficult time in the beginning, but then it's only going to get better. The new beautiful chapter is out there. So please don't waste your time. Okay. On that note, I truly hope that this is going to help you understand that not being happy and being disrespected, these two are enough of a reason to leave a relationship. Period. Okay. I will see you guys in the next video. And of course, schedule your one-on-one session with me if you need help navigating this. Okay. Happy holidays to you all.